Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to present our report from webinar technology in OSH. So I'll be the first presenter. Second is Hilda Victor. Third is Noratika Marsha, and last is Characters Everius. So next. So first, it's talk about IAQ, which is indoor air quality, refer to the air quality within and around the building and structure, especially as it relates to the health and comfort building occupants. So IAQ pollutants is airborne particles, indoor household odors, gases, ozone, and carbon dioxide. So it's like 19% of lifespan indoors, and new current situation is COVID-19. People take 99% to live span indoors, 2 to 5 times more pollution indoors than outdoors. So we can refer to Malaysian Industry Hygiene Association (MIHA), NIOSH, Nation Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, and JKPP or DOSH, OSH 514, Petroleum Safety Measure, and FMA 139. So objective why you have to measure parameter is to identify the source of the indoor air contaminants either within the place or for confirm the outsider air, to evaluate the exposure of the occupants to the indoor air contaminants either from indoor or outdoor source. Last is to determine the adequacy of mechanical ventilation at the place of work. So next. So for sampling strategy, we have two is sampling period, which is a measure IAQ parameters on ad-hoc basis except as otherwise stated. So second is sampling technique, which is real-time measurements and integrate sampling with subsequent laboratory analysis. So this is figure is, for example, IAQ equipment to use monitoring. So that's all for me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, next. In IAQ, they have a sick building syndrome, SPS, and building-related illness BRI. Sick building syndrome describe a set of non-specific symptoms experienced by occupants due to time spent in building with pure IAQ. And BRI, well-known diseases such as Legionnaire disease, asthma, pneumonitis, hypersensitivity, and humidifying fever are the most common Next slide. Okay, next we go to the sampling. Sampling have two, which is personal sampling. Personal sampling has been done to the workers down sampling technique connect to the general area, and sampling is regardless 514, it was meant to provide a legal framework to control exposure of chemical hazards to health at workplace. And all exposure limits are based on personal samples and must be taken in the breathing zone. And first schedule in regulation 6 and 7 is the data about permissible exposure limit, which is PEL. There are certain chemical have the limits available to expose. And the second schedule is 36 list of chemicals has been stated in the second schedule using handling process need to do the medical checkup. And next. Okay, next we go to sound. Sound is a pressure variation in air, water, or some other medium that can be detected by human ear. And sound divided into two, which is frequency and amplitude. Frequency, the rate of sound pressure, pitch in unit of hertz. And amplitude, the amount of sound Sounds pressure unit is decibel dB, sound is annoying and affect to psychological level and called noise. Okay, next we move to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Hida Victor. So my name is Atika Masha and I will present about method identification noise. For the area monitoring, its initial walk around the work areas and SLM stand for sound level meter and output list. So the figure shown below is noise level dBA and color zone. For 140 dBc and 115 dBA, the color zone is purple. 85 until 115 dBA is red. 82 until 85 dBA, the color is yellow, and 82 dBA is white color. For the sampling technique, personal monitoring it is to evaluate employees' exposure to noise during their work shift. Selected employees who are working in excessive noise area, noise dosimeter and output personal exposure monitoring data. So for the next slide is toxic and flammable gas. It's able to harm to people, environment and damaging their property. Hazardous chemical have globally harmonized system and the short form is GHS pictogram to indicate their respective chemical hazard. And the next one is shape in solid, liquid, gas and other form. The last one is pictogram can be found in safety datasheet SDS and signage. So the sign shown about the first one is explosive, the second one is compressed gas, and the third one is harmful. The fourth one is flammable. Next is corrosive, and the next one is health hazard. And the seven is oxidizing, toxic, and environmental hazard. So that's all for me. I pass to the next presenter, characters.
Okay, thank you for Marsha. My name is Calixtus Alvarius. So I will present about hazardous gases, sampling pump, and confined space. So what is hazardous gases? Hazardous gases is such as ammonia, hydrogen, hydrogen sulfide, chlorine, benzene, nitrogen, and oxygen. And for sampling pump, high flow and low flow sampling pump are used for both area and personal monitoring. For confined space is before entering the confined space, the oxygen content percent flammable gases, low explosive limit percent, toxic air contaminant with short form ppm need to check, and oxygen content below 90.5% is oxygen deficiency cause asphyxiation and lead to death while. And if it more than 23.5%, oxygen toxicity at central nervous system and lung due to breathing zone normal partial pressure. Next. And I will go for fixed gases detector. So basically fixed gases detector have two types, which is flammable gas detector, infrared IR PEP sensor. This fixed detector has a rapid response time, corrosion resistant, and is immune to airborne pollutants such as silicon, lead compound, and H2S lower maintenance requirement, and able to work under oxygen deficient atmosphere, and unable to detect the gases that do not absorb IR energy, for example, hydrogen. And for toxic gas detector, namely electrochemical sensor, this sensor operates based on the diffusion of gas of interest into the sensor and prefer sensor type for H2S due to its selective detection to H2S gas only without interference by other gas. Next. And that's all from us. Thank you.